question that I want to leave you with going into the weekend is, why is everybody so sensitive? You know what I mean? It just seems like there's a lot more feelings these days.
You know, feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. A lot of people felt at Turning Point USA, they felt that Mikey McCoy was kind of being positioned to take over for Charlie Kirk. I spiritually feel that something is wrong. We all feel that something is spiritually wrong, and yet these people are trying to tell you that there's nothing to see here. We don't have any facts on that. We only have just a sense of Charlie's emotion at the time. I feel a lot is adding up. I think the state of Israel is probably involved. I think there was something about me and him together, okay, that was, I don't know, like just meant to happen. Why does it feel to me like a hostile takeover of a company? That's how I personally feel. Okay. That's how I feel. I feel like this was a hostile takeover of a company. And I feel that the company became bigger than Charlie because Charlie was too ambitious. And this to me feels like a Christ mission. I have to say, any woman that can get on stage and meaningfully say that they forgive the person who their husband that quickly, you are truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry and so angry. What sort of widow wouldn't want people to investigate the assassination of their husband? She has not explicitly said that, but the influencers are invoking that. His quote-unquote closest friends, his closest political allies, the White House, they all seemed kind of ready to move on so much faster than I was. I want to say that what's been bothering me in particular are the micro lies. It seems that they're suddenly in the business of telling micro lies, tiny little misrepresentations, tiny little half-truths that right out of the gate.
By now, we already know and understand how Candace Owens rolls. She says it, drops it, little crumbs here and there to lure her followers and viewers towards a certain conclusion, but you dare not say that conclusion out loud and let it bite her in the ass, because if you do, she's going to come and walk it back and ask, when did I say that? When? I just gently suggested that Charlie Kirk was maybe thinking about going towards Catholicism. But you see, in this same video we're about to react to, she's going to contradict herself so many times, it's unbelievable. She talks about she hates little lies, but unfortunately, she's the queen of big lies. Well, it makes sense. She hates little ones, so she prefers the bigger ones. In today's video, I want us to react to these two widows, because at this point, Candace Owens is no longer a friend. She is a full-blown widow. So I want us to see between widow 1 and widow 2, how it's working between them, because both of them, they're giving me so much to think about. And, before any much ado, Candace Owens feels that people are not grieving right. She feels like people are not grieving right. Why Erika Kirk is there giving people emotional blackmail on how people act. I don't know how she puts those words together for a man who said empathy was a new age term, which he doesn't believe in, but we have been empathizing with her and her family for the tragedy that happened to them. But she will come back online and want to gaslight us, to tell us that those of us who actually saw by mistake or whatever means it happened, that we watched her husband's video of him having what happened to him happen to him. We are sicko people watching that. You know these two widows? They give me life. Let's get into it. Just for context, this is Candace Owens reacting to Erika Kirk's interview. Erika Kirk did an interview with Fox News, and Candace Owens, probably, like I said in the previous video where she reacted to a clip of this particular interview, she thought that I think she was imagining that maybe Erika Kirk will address her, or they will ask her questions regarding Candace Owens' investigation. But unfortunately, like I said in that video, I believe Erika Kirk would have told them, please don't talk to me about that woman, because if anyone interviewed Erika Kirk, they would definitely ask her. If she doesn't have a say in the interview, they would definitely ask her, hey, what do you think about what Candace Owens is doing? Because Candace Owens is definitely widow number 1 right now. Erika Kirk, she can't even widow this thing. She is not widowing it according to Candace Owens right now. Candace Owens thinks she's widow number 1. Erika Kirk can be widow number 50. She doesn't care. She's widow number 1. Okay. What sort of widow forgives? What sort of widow? So she is reacting to this interview. So I just wanted to give that context so we know where we're from and where we're going to before we head into it. So Candace Owens from the beginning, she'll be confused, perplexed. Why? The questions were not more of investigation, but she says in hindsight, she should have known. But Candace, do you think this woman is supposed to go and sit on Fox News and be talking about you? Or what kind of investigation you are doing? The one she's doing, she trusts. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Very anticipated interview. I think we didn't really know what we were going to get. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like more about the investigation. And obviously in retrospect, that's not what it was about because it's Fox News and Fox News is not going to do this like heavy investigation. It was kind of more giving her a platform to speak about how things have changed for her, how things have changed for Turning Point USA, but it's like being at the helm of the organization. What are her thoughts about what that organization is going to look like going forward? And I'm speaking about Jesse Waters, who hosted this discussion, also trailed her at the event that she did with JD Vance at the University of Mississippi. Now, people around the world obviously have been moved by Erika's commitment to her Christian faith, the strength, obviously, that it takes for her to look after her kids, to look after herself, plus to steward this massive company, all while she's grieving, right? And that's kind of one of the things that stood out the most to a lot of people. But I would say the Christian message is what has resonated the most when she got up on stage and she said that I forgive him pretty instantly. I mean, when was the memorial event? It was only 10, 11 days after he was assassinated. I think it was even less maybe. It was like the 19th, 9 days after he was assassinated. Oh, sorry, the 21st.
Anyone who has been listening and paying attention to Candace Owens, whenever the topic of Erika Kirk comes up, you will know. Here, she's giving her a backhanded compliment, like, what sort of widow will forgive the person who did that to her husband 9 days later? That's what she's putting out there. She's really planting the seeds. And in this case, Candace Owens is not really caring how she sounds. But one thing she's very careful about is being very cautious, not as much as to put everything out there for someone to be able to hold her to that statement. You know, a statement like, your husband, you KILLEED, your husband. It's different from pointing people or giving people hints of how you see it, like saying everyone betrayed Charlie, and then a few days you drop it to 6 people. Then you come, when she was on a sabbatical, oh my God, she said she knew everything, the things she has learned. When she came, she had nada. This girl has mastered the art of talking crap. She's good at it. But she, with Erika Kirk, is extremely careful. If Erika Kirk was a different person, she would have been very, very harsh on her because she sees Candace Owens attacks people for the most minuscule things, the most minute things. She put out the picture of one guy, a student, because he was in a green hoodie on the campus the day the thing happened to Charlie happened. That child had to come out. Her mom came out on Twitter to come and say, hey, I'm just here. We went to look for food. Then Candace Owens now to come and say on her show, like, nothing happened. So he came and proved this point. But before putting out that information, if she says she has a team like she claims to, she would have done investigation. Knowing that someone just wearing a hoodie on a sunny day doesn't imply they are up to no good. But you know what? She didn't care dropping that like it's hot on her Twitter page. But now when it comes to Erika, it doesn't matter what she sees. She pretends. She downplays it. I have made a full video explaining the psychology behind this. She downplays it. She acts as if she doesn't know what you guys are talking about. What are you guys seeing? She does all of that to ensure that she is able to either drift you towards the right conclusion without concluding it by herself or with her mouth, but also to have that possibility of deniability in future or have self-preservation in case things don't go the way she wants to. Now, that's not the only person she's been avoiding. Meghan Kelly is another person she's been avoiding talking about carefully, very straight out or outright. Like we can add these two to the list of Andrew Tate. Yay. We can add these two people to it. I'm not saying these two people have done something that required us to say, hey, bing, bang, bang, they did something, but this is it. They have certain behaviors. There's some things about them which Candace Owens would have gone with guns blazing on them, but she did not. The day she was analyzing military personnel or people related to military around Charlie Kirk, she brought up everyone except Erika. But Erika's mom works with the military, has worked with the military, has had military links for a long time. I did a video on that, breaking all of that the day she was talking about military personnel, but ignored bringing up Erika. There is another thing she also brought up, which Erika is also part of, but she did not. She has a reason why she's doing that. So she will give a blanket statement that will cover Erika, but will not point Erika. She says TPUSA is acting shady. Definitely. She is running it, except you're trying to tell us that she's just a puppet head. Or you're trying to tell us that you can differentiate the actions of the CEO from the actions of the people who work under there. So you see how Candace works? Yeah.
Take a listen.
It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. I think it's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you? Because God is so good and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
Now, while Erika is talking, watch Candace. Watch her. It is always very easy to watch Candace Owens' reaction to people when they say something. With Erika, she does everything possible to make sure her face is as neutral as possible. But sometimes, because our body language will betray us, we will do certain actions that tell that I'm not interested in this. And Erika doesn't help it. Erika, I've watched previous videos of her to see if she has always had this whispery cadence when she's talking. But it's new. It started just after her husband's. It's completely very, very... I see why people tend to say she is acting. I see it. I see why, because she has the cadence of a method actor. A method actor uses emotions to stress certain words at certain angles or certain places. The dapping of the face, the tears, the deepening of the softening of the words, repetition of certain words to reiterate, those are things that method actors do. So I understand why many people look at her and watch her and think maybe she is acting. Also, I understand why people really tend to bond with her during this moment. There are so many people who have bonded with her more than they ever bonded with her. Because before, Erika did not have this talking cadence where she reiterates those words, softens her voice, lowers her pitch, takes it up sometimes, just completely switches in and out. Like I've said, those are complete, real. I had to send this to a well-known international actor who is not very versed with world events and all of this drama that happens in the world. I asked them, I sent several of her speeches to them. I said, please tell me what you think. And then the person just gave me their thought on how this person is acting. Then I sent him now a video of her before. And then he said, is that the same woman? I said, yes. Then she's completely acting. In the other one, she's acting. I said, that's after her husband was. Then he said, she's completely acting. Then he also made me understand something. These are two things. Either she's someone who is not very good at expressing emotions, so she would take a class or learn a way to express it in a way that sounds convincing to others, or she is just someone who did not care about what happened to the person that the thing happened to, and she is just acting it out to appear, to feel authentic to others. So what will happen to a situation like this is this. Either those who don't see the acting side of this, they will be so in tune to her, their hearts will be softened, melted, and they will really condole with her so much. Or so many people will also be on the other side who just feel turned off when she talks, because a lot of it is complete method acting, really to its core. But unfortunately, she's not doing it so eloquently, or like, let's say, seamlessly, in a way that it will just either turn someone completely off or turn someone completely on to her. So that is one thing, because I had a personal feeling when it came to her, the way she talked. That's why I had to go back, watch her videos behind to see if this is something she has always done, but she has not always done this. Then that's when I started looking at it. I understood this. And when Candace will listen to her, evidently the way she's talking now has that effect, the opposite effect on Candace. Probably because she knows the way she talks originally, or there is some information Candace knows that we don't know. Okay? So you see her scratching her back, doing turning, the way her face is kept, trying to avoid reacting. So she doesn't really portray her real emotions, which is why immediately after this lady speaks, Candace Owens will not address what she said immediately, straight on. You know, when someone is trying to derail you from any conversation, say you ask them, is the rain falling right now or not? They will not say the rain is falling, or they will not say the rain is not falling. They'll start telling you, you know that geometry, geography, weather conditions can either change, or they will start saying that sometimes my eyes see things cloudy, sometimes my eyes, they start looking for a way to dance around before going towards that information, but still will not completely answer it, because they are trying to avoid pointing or giving you exactly how they feel about that thing or that individual. So they are going to dance around it. And that's exactly what Candace would do. She would dance around coming to the answer or responding to it. And when she finally comes to it, Candace is going to concentrate on talking about herself. That way, she doesn't somehow express completely what she feels about this person. And the only reason I can see here, it's not like she trusts the woman so much, but she sees that people don't trust her. So she doesn't want to express her trust for her. No, if that was the case, Candace would have made it clear. It is something otherwise. She doesn't want to relate the real feeling she has for this lady now, for self-preservation or other reasons. Listen to her response.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and a lot of emotions and grieving that I have experienced, and all of the emotions that I've shared with you guys, and the anger that I have felt. And I want to be very clear that I am not that example that she is giving. Like I could have never, and I know that so many people agree with this, I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. But even if you believe all of those things, I never could have turned around and forgiven him that quickly, right? And I have not even processed. I definitely, when I prayed about this, asked a ton of questions to God. And yeah,
You see what she's doing? She said, I could have never. And so many people agree with this. She's not saying that for nothing. She's steering you towards a certain conclusion. But if you dare make that conclusion here, believe me, she'll be having your head on a stake the next day. See, this aspect of her going towards herself, rather than addressing the situation immediately, but shifting the focus towards her opinions, her experience, without addressing the original subject, Erika, without addressing Erika's first, is referred to as conversational self-focus or conversational narcissism. Now, this is not done just for play or for no reason. Conversational narcissism, this trait involves constantly steering conversation towards oneself. Okay, people exhibiting their behavior, or this behavior may interrupt, jump into conversations, cut into when you're talking, even when the thing is not related to them. They will cut into it, sometimes even bringing unrelated subjects onto it just to make sure that the conversation stays on them. And the underlying reasons for this are not things that you would find very surprising. This is seeking validation and self-confirmation. When she is telling her public, this is not me, she's describing the person who will forgive, who did that to Charlie. She is steering their emotions towards finding a hero and a villain. Who is the hero here? Candace Owens. Who is the villain? Erika. Because how could you forgive the man who did that to your husband? She is saying that I am the friend, but I couldn't forgive this man. You are the wife. How could you? If something like that happened to my husband, I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't be that one. And she says again, so many people agree or find it or see it that way. She is seeking validation and self-confirmation, especially given that this is a context of social media justice. Here she is trying to seek the context of social media validation onto herself. It doesn't matter what the courts say. It doesn't matter what the reality say. She is going to ensure that she comes on top. It doesn't matter. So whoever Charlie Kirk's widow might be, that is their business. Because in this context, she has made herself the prime widow. Any other widow, you are just boiling corn and beans. The next reason for this could be insecurity or low self-esteem. Yes, overcompensating by highlighting achievements, like saying that, oh, I have been grieving so hard. How is it that people are not grieving like I am? She's not seeing people grieving. She's trying to make sure that she overcompensates, steering the stories towards desperately seeking affirmation and proving her worth to Charlie Kirk's followers, to her followers, to the social media netizens and family members. Hey, look at me. I have been crying this man and seeking justice for the long time, but this woman sits there and says she forgives this man. How dare she? The next reason is social anxiety. She's trying to control the conversation by keeping it on familiar territory. Like I said before, remember what I said before. She wants to control this conversation because she is at this moment not willing to say what she truly thinks about Erika Kirk. So she will rather bring it to a territory, which is herself. So she can say, this is just me. This is how I'm just feeling. Because if she dares put it on Erika Kirk to tell the truth about how she feels about Erika Kirk, she might betray herself. Candace Owens speaks a lot. While she talks, she sometimes forgets. That's why she has someone whispering in her ears always. The person has to tell her sometimes, shut up, you're going too far. And that is one thing that is very interesting. And the next reason could be ego-driven. Simply, Candace Owens' ego. Of course, who doesn't know how her ego works? Candace Owens' ego is one that needs constant pampering. It needs constant nurturing, watering, nurturing so that it grows. And she can't get enough. It doesn't matter if she gets to the biggest person in the world, she will still want her ego fed. And she will still always play victim. And she will still pander her emotions to the people on the internet. Look at me. Look at me, people. I've been crying. I don't know how she forgave that man. She's not saying anything. She's not saying that, no, she shouldn't. But she's saying that it couldn't be me. I'm just a friend. But I've been crying this man, mourning. She a few minutes she's going to talk about how some people were taking time to continue, but she needed time off. She needed time off. You see?
She is absolutely right in what she is saying, and she is delivering to us what the biblical teaching is on these matters. But I could not feel that way. And so I was questioning myself, listening to this, like, what is wrong with me? Like, well, actually, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to get to forgiveness? Why am I not able to, or why am I rather questioning and asking why, and why doing this to somebody so young? I mean, even my dad, by the way, was so impacted. He met Charlie a couple of times, but he was so impacted by Charlie's assassination that it made him go, I want to be, I remember my dad said this, like, I want to be a better grandfather and a better father, because I look at myself and I'm older and I haven't lived a life anywhere near as admirable as Charlie has lived his life. My dad literally said this to me on the phone. And it makes me feel like, why him? Why did this happen to Charlie Kirk?
Oh, Candace. Candace is so good at this thing. She's good at emotional manipulation. Do you see what she did there? Do you see what she did there? One, she established that she's just the friend. She's just the friend. But she wants all this hail and brimstone to find out, to dig, to get to one monicum of truth. How come Erika forgives him? Now she has brought in her dad, and she specifies how many times her dad met Charlie Kirk and how much he was impacted by this, and how she and him can't forgive. They've been thinking about it. How come? What's wrong with me? All of this she's doing here, she's not doing this out. She knows exactly what game she's playing. She knows where she's driving her audience. She's telling them, look at this. Even my dad, who met this guy just a couple of times, couldn't believe it. Like, she's driving the point home, because some people will say, but well, maybe you liked or loved Charlie. Like, people have been insinuating that they probably had a romantic relationship. So she's like, even my dad who met Charlie a few times can't forgive this man. And he's asking, why would this happen to this man? And then she will now turn and ask, like, so are you guys telling me that this woman just wants to tell us that she just forgive the man like that? So she is doing what we call emotional playing. She's emotionally doing dodgeball, emotional chessboard. She has an emotional chessboard, and she's playing her audience like it's no tomorrow. She knows the game. She's perfected it over time, and she's walking it through. At this point where we are seated, Erika Kirk could tell herself and everyone else that she married this man. That's her business. At this point, widow number 1 is Candace Owens. Erika Kirk can follow as number 50. She doesn't care. She has wept, built, perfected the art of gaining the sympathy of her. She started very little. She first started with her little tribute to Charlie. Then she started dropping the brims little by little. Building. She got to the part of attacking everyone and attacking to the president. Now she has come back. Now she's now at the emotional level. She's now digging in again. Guys, you see what I've been doing? I've been through hell. How can this woman just stand up 9 days later and say she forgives this guy? How is it working?
And I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going, wow, what is wrong with me that I have felt all of those things, that she has had the wisdom to just not go through that. You know what I mean? Or not, I guess I shouldn't say not go through that, but not fixate on that. I couldn't today, after everything that's happened, be like, I forgive Tyler Robbins. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I think maybe if I'm assessing myself and being hypercritical of myself right now, it's because I cannot forgive until I know what happened.
When we are looking at what Candace is saying here versus what she thinks happened with Erika, we can look at it in tendencies for forgiveness, maybe in conditional ways. For example, let's say some people seek closure when there is the condition of knowing exactly what happened. While some people will seek closure, maybe not from facts, but just because they want to release themselves from the pain of what has happened to them, the injustice that has happened to them. So Candace Owens is coming from someone whose forgiveness is conditional, which means it is based on someone taking accountability or someone taking the punishment from what has happened in itself, it's not a bad sentiment to have, because definitely if she seeks the truth and finds the truth, it will give her some control over the situation, over knowing that the person who did this act has found justice, the person whose this act was perpetrated upon has been served justice. But then, when it comes to Candace Owens' situation, given that she says she's seeking truth, but unfortunately, all she's been doing is leaving a trail of problems on her way, which lets us see that maybe that is not still the case for her, because if she's seeking truth, she would have to do it the right way. And if she wants to look at it from this angle of she needs closure, or let's say she needs proof or facts of someone taking accountability of that action, we can definitely say that Erika has found that closure, because she said in this interview she has seen the facts, she has seen the autopsy, she has spoken with the authorities, and she trusts the team, which means she has not only gained information that has kept her at peace to know that she has control over this situation, she has closure over this situation, and she can emotionally and mentally give out that forgiveness to finally release herself from the pain and bitterness that she could have been carrying along for a long time. On the flip side, Candace Owens has not had that because, one, she's not been in communication with these authorities. One, she doesn't trust them, even though she still claims at points they leak information to her. Girl, make it make sense. And two, she has not seen the autopsy, which she has confirmed she has not seen it, and she doesn't know what is going on in the investigation, because all she has gotten is information that has left her more confused. And because of how much she has been leaving a trail of damage on her way in the name of investigating, she will become more bitter. So it makes sense that at this point, we have two individual widows. At this point, Candace Owens is Charlie's widows, whether you guys like it or not. So when I'm calling the two of them the two widows, just understand, you want to protest it in Candace Owens' comment section, not mine. She is a widow. So you see, in a situation where you have two widows, one who has the need for cognitive closure and meaning, that is Candace Owens. That means she needs the human mind. Her mind needs to seek a sense of justice so that she can know the facts. Knowing those facts will provide for her essential pieces for her to construct a coherent narrative that will help her understand what happened, so she can build a confidence in her safety, control of the narrative, to be sure that she can forgive or not. It is in itself not a bad thing for her to want. It is not. It is just the manner of her seeking for justice that is a little problematic. Now, for her to seek the aspect of safety, they asked even Erika Kirk in this interview, does she feel safe? She said yes. And it is not a strange thing for her to say, because she has seen the evidence, seen the autopsy, which has given her a sense of justice and someone taking accountability for the injustice that was done to her, her family, her husband, and her entire life. But Candace, on the other side of this equation, is one who is still struggling, not only with the psychological, but with the social aspect of not understanding what happened. She keeps saying that she needs to fit things into her timeline. Sometimes that is not just because she is having this incoherent investigation of hers that is going on. It is because her mind is not yet settled. She has not found closure on the events that happened on the day that it happened. She probably doesn't have an iota of what is going on behind the scenes of Turning Point USA, which those people there could have had that be privy to that information, which could have settled their mind faster than it would settle Candace Owens' mind. And this is one of the reasons which I have known for a while that Candace Owens was not as close to Charlie Kirk as she would like us to know. If she was, she would have been privy to some of the information. She would have been invited to be at the memorial. She would have been part of the ongoing tours that are going around. She is not as close. She has not been. Even she herself has come online one of the days she was talking on her podcast. She cried out loud that she thought that after Charlie Kirk's what happened to him? They are going to form a group chat, become buddies. They are going to be exchanging texts on how to go further. But she sees that she has been left out. She's angry about it. One, she doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, at any angle. She has not gained closure. She has been isolated. Look, being top of the world podcast, it's a very good thing for her. But the truth is this: Candace Owens is an island currently. She has very few friends in the industry, and even the friends she has, I have to bet on everyone that is temporal, or those are conditional friendships, because Candace doesn't know how to keep a friendship for long. It's just a matter of time. She burns the bridge down. Everything, she takes it down. And she has said it herself. She doesn't mind as long as she gets to one monicum of truth. And that monicum of truth does not depend on what the truth is. It depends on what her truth is. And that is the problem with so many people. They want their truth, not the truth. When you present the truth to them, it doesn't sound like the truth. Now, I'm not saying that what has happened with the investigation is pure fact or everything. I don't know. Same as Candace Owens is as confused with what has happened. Every one of us who is not part of the internal investigation, who is not privy to the information that we don't have, you might not know certain things. There are things that Erika Kirk knew before her husband ended, and after that, she knows why she is acting the way she's acting. And people on the outside might not be able to take stock of that data and make sense of it because they are not her. They don't have the information she has. They don't know what she's going through, and they can never assess it. So that is one thing that is going on with these two widows. Look at Candace here. The reason I'm calling them two widows, Candace has not paid attention to including any other person in this grieving process. At this point, she's listening to Erika Kirk, then she inflects on herself. She listens to Erika Kirk, she inflects on what she thinks herself is feeling. At this point, she's putting herself as the second widow or the first widow. Erika Kirk can be the 50th. That's anybody's business.